Hello, guys. So today we went over the vocabulary words for the week. Our first word is cling. When you cling, it means to attach to something. Like the frog is clinging to the tree with his legs and his hands, or actually maybe they're all his legs. Does he have legs in the front and the back? I'm not sure what a frog calls if he has arms and legs or only legs. Okay. So anyway, he's holding on to the tree. He is clinging to it. If you were to peel back his fingers, he would immediately put them back. So he is clinging. There's almost a stickiness to the way he clings. He's holding on so tightly. You know the wrap that you wrap sandwiches in? It's plastic. You put it over bowls to cover bowls. And when you put it on the bowl, it sticks to the bowl. This wrap is called cling wrap because it sticks to the surface. It clings to the surface. Okay, our next word is dissolves. Dissolves means when something separates in the liquid and becomes part of the liquid. Okay, like here we have medicine that's been dropped into the water. It will separate and dissolve into the water and will become part of that water. Next, we have the word gritty, and we have some toes sticking up in the air. There is sand on the bottom of this person's feet, and it feels gritty. Gritty is when when you go to the beach and you step in sand and you feel like little bumpy rocks, tiny little rocks all over your feet. This is the rough feel of grittiness. Okay? Humid. I like the tropical feeling of the moist, humid air in the rainforest. Humid is when there is moisture in the air. The day the weather was very humid and very hot. Okay, that's when there's extra water vapor in the air. Okay, humid. Magnify. When we magnify something, we enlarge it and make it bigger so that we can see the details of it. A microscope is a tool that's used in the science lab and in medicine and scientists work in general to study something that is too small to see with the eye, so they use a microscope to see the details of it underneath. Here they place a slide and they look through to see it. It is enlarged by the microscope. It is magnified. Okay, mingle. Mingle. Mingle means to mix things together, or it can also be a social gathering where people mix together and get to know each other. Here we have three penguins, kind of cool penguins hanging out on the beach, getting to know each other. Typical. Typical means normal, what you would normally expect. Here it says freezing temperatures in Alaska are normal and typical for part of the year. So that's what's expected. It's the normal thing that happens during that time of the year in Alaska. So typical means normal. All right, let's move on to your world up close. This week's essential question: what can you discover when you look closely at something? Okay, let's see what happens when we look closely at sugar and some snowflakes. Does the picture on the left show a diamond or a glass prism? Look closer. Take a step back. You are too close. It is a picture of a sugar crystal. The extreme close-up was taken by an electron microscope, a tool that can magnify an item to thousands of times its actual size. So it enlarges, it magnifies. Magnifying means to make it larger. This way we're able to see all the details. Pictures taken with a high-tech electron microscope are called oh, photomicrographs. The sugar crystal on the left may look huge, but the word micro means small. We are seeing a small part of the sugar crystal up close. Photomicro- Photomicrography dates back to 1840 when a scientist named Alfred Dunn first photographed images through a microscope. Around 1852, a German pharmacist made the first version of a camera that took photomicrographs. In 1882, William Snowflake Bentley of Vermont became the first person to use a camera with a built-in microscope to take pictures of snowflakes. You know the microscope, remember the tool we said that helps to magnify so we can see details? His photographs showed that there is no such thing as a typical snowflake. There is no such thing as a normal snowflake. Each is unique. No two are alike. Nowadays, we have electron micrographs. The light microscopes you use in school are weak and do not show much detail. An electron microscope is a much more powerful tool, and it allows scientists to see things we can't see with our own eyes, such as skin cells or dust mites. The picture below is a close-up of human skin and shows the detail an electron microscope can capture. The more an image is magnified, the more detail you will see in the photograph. The most magnification that a photomicrograph can capture is about 2 million times the original image size. So think of something that you would be looking at and imagine it 2 million times bigger than it is. Magnified images have helped scientists to see what causes diseases. Over the years, scientists have learned how these diseases behave. Looking through microscopes, we have even learned what is inside a cell or how a snowflake dissolves into a drop of water. Remember, we talked about dissolving, how what is in the liquid separates and becomes the liquid. Snowflakes separate and become water. Okay, this is a picture of a human fingerprint, like the tip of your finger. This is times 1 million so that you can see up close the lines that are on the fingertip. And this is times 2 million. If you look at them, it looks pretty yucky. Let's look at it up close. I asked the students today in class what it looked like, and they told me that it looks like a farm. Okay, so they felt like it looked like dirt. Okay, so this is what your fingertips look like. Do you see all the little microscopic things? How tiny they are, and we don't even have any idea that they're there, but those little pieces are there on our fingertips. Scientists use electron micrographs to see how objects change over time. For example, we can look at a piece of fruit to see how it decays. First, the fruit looks fresh. After a few days, it begins to soften. Then specks of mold appear and cling to it. That means they stick to it, they hold on to it. Days pass, and eventually the fruit is covered in mold. We can see these changes under the microscope far earlier than we can see them with just our eyes. So that means that before you see mold on something, it's been there for days. You just weren't able to see it. Sometimes you mingle outside on a humid day with friends. Remember, mingle means to get together, to mix it up, meet people, hang out. Humid day, a day that's really hot because of the water vapor in the air. What would the sweat on your skin look like magnified? The possibilities are endless if you examine your world up close. Okay, so using the electron microscope, you could pretty much look at anything and magnify it to see what it looks like up close. All right. Our vocabulary words for the week. The first one is summarize. We've taken multiple times. Summarize means to retell the key or important details in your own words. So, like for instance, if you go to the library and you look up information about a topic, you write down all this information, then you summarize your information by writing only the most important points. Okay? If we summarize the story, it means we retell the story, but only, with by telling the most important points in the story. Okay? The most important details. Sequence. We have not done sequence in a while. Sequence is when we put the events in the order in which they occur in the story. So sequence means to tell what happens first, next, then last. Okay, we can use time order words when we're telling sequence. When we use sequence of the story, we use it as a reader. It helps us understand when things are written in sequence in the order in which they happen, and as a writer, when we write, if we write in sequence, it makes it easier for our reader to understand. Okay, so that's one of the text structures that are used to write. To use things to write in time order and use time order words to help your reader understand. Okay, so as a reader or a writer, time order words can help you, and writing in correct sequence can help you. Expository text, we know, gives facts and information about a topic. The text features that we're focusing on with our expository text this week, and the expository text this week that we're doing is a science topic. The text features are photographs, captions. Photographs, we know, are pictures that are taken with a camera, and captions are the words that are written above, beside, or below the photographs to tell us what the pictures are about and give us more information about our topic. Okay, so it can be next to captions can be located next to a map, a graph, a chart, a diagram, a photograph, a sidebar, any text feature that you use, there can be a caption written next to it to explain what it is about. Okay, that's it for today. Those are our literary terms. I'll see you next in the grammar video for the day. Bye-bye.